One of the most personal aspects of life is parnasa, is income. And that's why when you first meet someone, you don't really ask them, hey, how much do you make? Why? Because parnasa is the result of personal effort. It shapes our lives. In a very real way, parnasa is personal. It determines what a person's life and livelihood will look like in the coming year. For the ancient Jewish farmer, the tensions surrounding parnasa were very real. Imagine, you spent the fall planning and you hoped and prayed for a rainy winter, and when the spring comes, you're waiting at the edge of your seat to see what the harvest will be. Did all your efforts pay off, and will the coming winter be one in which all of your family's needs will be taken care of? A lot rides on this. And so it makes sense that in Parsha Ki Tavo, the Torah mandates that at the end of the harvest season, the farmer who sees that he's had a beautiful, bountiful crop, bring a portion of it to the Beit HaMikdash to give thanks to Hashem. Now, you would expect then that the formula that the Torah wants the farmer to recite would focus on his own personal needs and gratitude. After all, parnasa is personal. But if you look closely, you'll see that the Torah takes a different path. The ancient Jewish farmer, upon bringing bikurim, those first fruits, to the Beit HaMikdash, rather than focus on his personal narrative, engages in a ritual retelling of the narrative of the Jewish people, beginning with Arami Oved Avi, those nomadic wanderings of our ancient ancestors, and continuing through slavery and redemption. And then only after he does all that does he end with a proclamation about his personal offering. In fact, the Parsha is structured as follows. As we would expect, it opens with a focus on the individual. When you come to the land and you settle in it, you take your fruit, you put it in a basket, you bring it to the Beit HaMikdash, you hand it with your hand, to the Kohen, and so on and so forth. This is all about you. But then when it gets to the declaration that the farmer is supposed to make, it suddenly pivots to the collective. And not only is the content about the nation and its history, but the language is in first person plural. And it's very familiar to us from the Pesach Seder. The Mitzrim afflicted us. They caused us to suffer. They gave us hard work. We cried out to God, and God heard our voices, and God took us out of Egypt. And then it continues with a coda that doesn't appear in the Pesach Seder. He brought us to this place, and he gave us this land. And now, at the end of the proclamation, the farmer abruptly pivots back to speaking about himself in the first person singular. Ata hinehi veiti et reshit pri ha'adama asher nartata li Hashem. Right? I'm bringing these fruits that you, God, gave to me. So the way it's structured is that we have the collective history flanked by the personal. And the proclamation itself is mostly about the collective, but it culminates in the personal. And what I think is happening here is that the Torah is trying to tell us something very profound about the nature of our identity, especially when we're in the land of Israel. One who fully experiences and is fully connected to the land of Israel walks a line between her identity as an individual and her place within the Jewish collective. In Israel, the personal and collective intertwine in a back and forth kind of way. The most dramatic moments of personal life become occasions for reflection upon all of Jewish history, and vice versa. The dramatic unfolding of Jewish history relates to each person's personal life, with all of Jewish history culminating in each and every Jew. Very much like the way our farmer senses, our farmer in this parsha senses that all of Jewish history led to his personal moment of offering to God. We're reading this parsha at just the time of year when tens of thousands of young men and women are coming to Eretz Yisrael from Chutz La'aretz for a year or more in order to learn Torah and connect with the people and the land, and also uncover various aspects of themselves, who they are and how they work and what makes them tick. And upon entering Eretz Yisrael, so many immediately begin that process of identifying with the collective, seeing themselves from those very first moments at the Kotel as part of a larger saga of Jewish history and peoplehood. And at the same time, because their intention is personal growth, they also start to focus inward and reflect upon their values and priorities, who they want to be and what they want out of life. Israel, that place of kibbutz galuyot where Jews of so many different stripes and walks of life come together to be a part of and create a collective history, is the perfect place. It just lends itself to tasting that balance between individuality and collectivism, bringing everything you are as an individual to the collective table, so to speak, maintaining each person's uniqueness while putting that uniqueness in conversation with those larger entities that belong to all of us, the Torah and Eretz Yisrael. It's no accident that Parsha Ki Tavo is always read shortly before Rosh Hashanah, because Chazal tell us that on Rosh Hashanah, everyone in the world passes before Hashem one by one, while at the same time, Kulam Niskarim Baskira Achat. All of existence is surveyed, is viewed in a single glance. We're one holistic unit. There's no other day on the Jewish calendar than Rosh Hashanah that better encapsulates the balance between the individual and the collective. So wherever in the world you find yourself as the new year rolls around, let Parsha Ki Tavo challenge us to maintain our uniqueness as individuals, while also being mindful of our kinship and connection to each other and to the Jewish people. Wishing Ashana Tova to each of us as individuals and Klal Yisrael as a whole.